Hi, my name is Tim Goodwin. I'm the Executive Director of Community First School, and we're coming to you today from the Pond House here at Keney Park, one of North Hartford's great assets. Last time we talked a little bit about my vision and our board's vision for Community First School. Today we're going to talk about the achievement gap and the essential elements of Community First School that will help eliminate that gap. And we're going to use Keney Park to represent some of those things. So come on, check it out, join me, let's go. The achievement gap suggests that students from urban neighborhoods aren't as strong academically as their counterparts from suburban neighborhoods. But I haven't found that to be true. I know that if you give North Hartford students the right learning environment, they can outperform their peers across this state and the nation. So let's talk about some key components of Community First School that are going to help North Hartford students eliminate the achievement gap. Two of the key elements we're going to look at today to help our students overcome the achievement gap are curriculum and mindset. First, let's talk about curriculum. We went throughout this community for over a year and a half asking parents and community leaders what they needed to help their children be successful. They asked for a hands-on curriculum. They asked for it to be relationship-based and whole child-centered. They wanted us to consider adverse childhood experiences and help families and parents overcome them. Well, let's get back to that hands-on piece for a minute. Here we are at the pond here at Keney Park, and we're going to use these community resources and assets to help our children learn. Think about the fact that children can come here and evaluate the health of this pond by studying what lives here. That covers the next generation science standards at multiple grade levels. We're also going to look to build raised bed gardens here in the park and at some of the community gardens in the neighborhood, like the one over on Earl Street. When you build a community garden and you collect data around it, you have to solve for unknowns. You have to work with measurements. You have to think about the math standards that also need to be met in terms of for our children to be successful. But not only that, we're going to look at social studies standards too. Did you know that Frederick Law Olmsted, who designed Keney Park, also designed Central Park in New York? And that he's known as the father of city parks here in the United States? He considered Hartford his home, and he's buried right here in Old North Cemetery over on Main Street. When you think about all the great community assets and things in this community that we can use to help our children learn, you're coming up with a purposeful curriculum that's meaningful. Now let's consider the English language arts standards. Research shows that when students write about what they've experienced, they perform better. We're going to bring students out to the Keney Park Nature Trail. We're going to have them observe the tree identification markers. We're going to have them look at the wildlife and the undergrowth that exists here. Once they've been here, they're going to be able to write so much better as they create informational text, maybe maps of the local environment, or even imaginative writings about stories or things they can come up with having been in an outdoor environment. But we don't just stop with English language arts standards. We also look at cultural standards and social emotional standards. Community First School has done the hard work with community partners to develop standards in those areas because we know that children don't just learn academically, they learn socially and emotionally. And if you can't reach a child, you can't teach a child. So you might ask the question, how is it that you've come up with these great ideas? Well, we've listened to you, the community, in coming up with these ideas. And we filter all the best practices out there in education today through the ideas that you've asked for, to build out a purposeful curriculum just for North Hartford students using community assets like this. We know that if a student has purpose in their learning, they're going to perform at much higher levels and prove what we know is possible, that they can overcome this achievement gap. So the second key element we're going to look at today is mindset. We have a whole child-centered and relationship-based mindset. And that means something. It means something to this community. Let's break that down a little bit and unpack it. First off, we're going to have a family welcome center. We want parents to come in and we want to be excited and enthused to see them. But not just the welcome center that's open every hour the school's open, but our classrooms also have an open door policy. We love parents. We know that they are oftentimes the key to a child's success. But not only that, we're going to have a support service department that follows kids through our whole K to 5 grade pathway and then our 6 to 8 grade pathway into high school. And we're going to work with students even once they leave us and go into the new Weaver High. We're going to help the guidance counselors there to work with our students to make sure that they remain leaders in the high school and go off to college. Our relationship-based whole child-centered model also touches on teacher training. We're going to make sure that our teachers understand adverse childhood experiences so they can recognize them and help students overcome them. Our teacher training is 6 weeks in the summer, and we know that we're only as strong as our staff. So our goal is to bring in more people from the community to work in our schools so they can understand our children and help them succeed at high levels. Our whole child-centered relationship-based model, our curriculum, which is designed just for this community, is going to make a huge difference in helping our children overcome the achievement gap. So when you think about Community First School, think about context, the context of those we're serving over the content we want to deliver. And think about a school that's community asset based. It's what you've asked for and what we want to deliver. We believe in you, we believe in North Hartford children. We know that Community First School is not going to have an enrollment problem. It's going to have an overcrowding problem. And we're going to expand to serve as many kids as we possibly can, because we also know that given the right environment, North Hartford children can outperform any of their peers around the state and nation, and we can wipe out this achievement gap. In our next episode, we're going to talk with community partners who've joined us to help build this curriculum and this program. I hope you'll join us then. Until then, remember, every child is unique and special, created by design to accomplish great things.